Never chase after their attention. Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about why you should never chase after someone's attention. So this is really important if you have a crush on someone, if you're trying to get an ex back, if you're basically trying to have a romantic connection with someone but they are not putting in the effort and you're the one that's having to do everything. And this is a really bad thing to do. It's really bad to chase after someone's attention. And especially in these kinds of circumstances, because it just shows that you don't have that much respect for yourself if you're having to chase down someone all the time and they're just not giving any of that attention back and they're not putting in the effort. The people that like you, the people that are worth your time, are the people that are enthusiastic about you, that put in the effort, that if you ask them out or if you ask to see them, they show up, they're there, they want to be there. And basically, if they're not doing that, then they're not really worth your time. Now, sometimes at the beginning of a courtship, perhaps, there can be a little bit of chasing going on, a little bit of pursuing. So sometimes that is okay at the beginning, because at the beginning of a courtship, you don't really know each other that well enough yet to be, too enthusiastic about them because you don't know each other yet. But the point is that if you do ever ask someone out, and even if they are kind of like a little bit reserved and they're not displaying like a lot of attention to you, they will still show up. They will still be there. They will still say yes to going out with you, and they won't play games. Now, it might be the case that they are a little bit reserved. They're not giving you that, like a brilliant attention, shall we say, like as if someone would if you were in a relationship together. But the general rule is, if they like you and if they want to be around you, then they will be there. They will say yes to going out with you. They will show up. They will reciprocate the feelings. However, if they're not doing that, then, you should not chase them. You should not try and put in so much effort with people that don't actually really want to be there, and they're displaying that they don't want to be there through their actions. But also, it's best to not chase after someone's attention too much, okay? So basically, if you are asking people out and they're showing up on dates and they're hanging out with you and it seems like they enjoy being there and they continue to show up, they continue to want to date you, then you don't really need to chase them too much. All you have to do is ask them out, show up, have a great date, and keep on doing that until eventually you two end up in a relationship. So you don't want to give someone too much attention too soon as well, because you don't need to, basically. Because sometimes this is what happens. You sometimes some people go out on dates, right? And when they go out on dates and the date goes really well, they start getting too clingy too soon, when you need to really back off a little bit at the beginning and wait for that other person to develop the same feelings as you. And this was really difficult for me because I'm someone who falls in love really, really fast. So when I first met my wife and the girls that I dated before then, it was really difficult for me to, I had a successful date, everything was going well, I was really attracted to them, it seems they're attracted to me, having all these amazing experiences and feelings, and it's really difficult to restrain yourself from trying to move things too quickly. And I know that because, I completely went through it, so if you're that kind of person, I completely understand where you're coming from. But it's important to match and mirror their affection level, their interest level, because if you don't and you are trying to force things and you're coming on too strong, it can scare people away, it can freak them out. An example I gave recently, and I think this is another good one to illustrate this similar point, and that is when I first met my wife, she was dating other people as well as I was dating other people, talking to other people, because we met on the app Tinder. So I was talking to other girls, she was talking to other girls. And she told me recently of a story that she was talking to a girl on Tinder, and this girl just kept on sending her messages, like religiously sending her too many messages, Whereas I was a lot more reserved. I backed off a lot more. I just simply asked for her Facebook information when we first started talking to each other on Tinder. And within the first evening of matching with her, I had asked her out on a date. We had arranged a plan. And then when that plan was arranged to meet up with her, I stopped saying anything because we had already arranged a plan. But this other girl was religiously sending her messages all the time, didn't back off. Didn't leave that like spaces, didn't leave like, days in between messages, because that's kind of like what you have to do. When you ask someone out, when you've made you've made concrete plans to meet up with them, you don't have to talk to them anymore because you've made plans and you can get to know each other on the date. But this girl that my wife was talking to was sending her way too many messages, whereas I didn't. And believe me, I wanted to talk to her more. I wanted to chat with her more before meeting up with her. But I knew that it wouldn't do very well for her attraction. I needed to give her space and time to think about me and to think about, the date coming up and stuff like that, to anticipate it. Because you can't really anticipate these things if you're constantly talking to each other. So anyway, that's the reason why my wife preferred me out of these other girls that she was talking to, because I was the one that backed off a lot more. I was the one that wasn't too pushy. And this is what happens when you're too pushy. It puts the people that you're talking to off. You can't be pushy. You can't try to force things. You can't come on too strong too soon, because it just shows lack of self-discipline. It shows the lack of understanding how relationships work, because you can't come on too strong too soon when you've only just started talking to someone. It's not right to do that because you don't really know each other yet. Like, it makes sense. It's only when you get to know each other and you start establishing a real connection with them, that's when you can be a lot more affectionate. That's when, you could be more romantic. But you can't do it like right away at the beginning because you don't know each other well enough for them to even deserve that kind of attention. You can think of it like in another kind of way, which is, you two, let's say you meet a friend, right? You meet someone who you kind of get along with really well and you would like them to be your friend. You don't instantly go from just knowing them to being best friends. You don't just say that to them like, oh, I want to be your best friend. Can we be best friends? It's something that grows over time. And surely it may happen relatively quickly if you spend a lot of time together. Like, let's say this is someone that you meet when you're at school or something like that, or at work, and you two become like really good work friends because you are spending a lot of time together in those kinds of environments. But, you're not best friends instantly. At least that's how adult friendships work, right? It may, little kids, maybe they become like, oh, let's be best friends straight away. But when you're an adult, when you've got past a certain age, you don't behave like that anymore. You don't become best friends instantly with people. It's something that is earned over time, and it is something that should be earned over time. You may really get on well with them, but they don't deserve the title of best friend, because they have yet to prove that they are actually a good friend through time and effort. Because you don't really know who your real friends are, basically, until you've gone through a lot with them, right? Until you've gone through a lot of tough experiences and they've been there, they've put in the effort, and you've done the same. It's a mutual thing. And the same goes for romantic relationships. You can't just automatically be in that relationship straight away. Those kinds of things are really rare and they don't happen that often. They can happen, I'm not saying that it's not a possibility, but most of the time, most of the people that you go on dates with and you talk to, it's not going to be an instant thing. It's going to be something that gradually happens over a period of a couple of months. And it's premature and it's terrible, and it's a terrible idea to try and force things too soon. So another reason why you should never chase after someone's attention is because that kind of thing can be really difficult and really frustrating if the other person isn't actually reciprocating. So you should always be dating people, talking to people, wanting that romantic connection with someone who is putting in the same amount of effort, who is meeting you halfway. And if you're the one that's always having to put in the effort, then you're just going to end up disappointed, frustrated, upset, and it's just not going to feel good. The best kinds of dates, the best kind of people to give your romantic attention to are the ones that are enthusiastic about you as well and have the same level of attraction for you. And like I said, it may be the case that, you know, you may start dating someone and you have a really, really high attraction for them and they're not quite there yet. But just because they're not quite there yet doesn't mean that they won't be later on after you've started dating. Because I was really, 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 really attracted to my wife when I first met her and when we went on our first date. You know, I wanted us to be in a relationship straight away. That's what I was thinking in my head and in my heart. But I knew that she wasn't there yet. She wasn't ready emotionally. She's someone who falls in love a lot slower than what I do. So it's important to be aware that people fall in love at different paces. You might be someone who falls in love really quickly, whereas the people that you date may be a lot slower. So you need to allow that emotion in them to grow. You can't force things. And if you're giving your attention to someone and they are just never giving it back to you, you cannot keep on, you know, doing that, because it's just not it's not the self-respecting thing to do, to keep on chasing after someone who doesn't want to be there, who's not interested. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.